It's interesting to see the way the various professional sports leagues in the United States try to restrict the amount of money teams can spend on player salaries in a given year. The reasoning for such measures, of course, are to try and keep the playing field relatively level and to prevent the teams with the most money from simply outspending everyone for key free agents. Leagues like the NFL choose to enact a hard salary cap. Teams can't go over the limit for any reason whatsoever. The NBA uses a soft cap, where teams that surpass the cap must pay a sort of luxury tax. The MLB's approach is different in that, unlike other sports, baseball does not have a set salary cap. The league does have a luxury tax system in which teams are taxed on each dollar over the threshold. They're taxed at different rates depending on how many consecutive seasons the team's been over it. However, that restriction might not be as effective as one might think, because each organization is worth so much money that the tax usually does not make much of a dent in overall team revenue. The result is that the amount of money elite players make varies from sport to sport. In 2019, Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson became the highest paid player in the league when he agreed to a 4-year extension worth a total of $140 million. The deal set an NFL record for both yearly average salary at $35 million and a signing bonus at $36 million. Compare that to baseball, where starting pitcher Garrett Cole just set a record for free agent pitchers when he signed a 9-year deal with the New York Yankees. That deal is worth a total of $324 million. It's an average of $36 million a year. Or take the extension outfielder Mike Trout, who's widely regarded as the best player in the game today, signed with the Los Angeles Angels. A 12-year deal worth about $430 million, which is also around $36 million a year. Another area baseball's lack of an official salary cap impacts is helping to create a greater divide between large and small market teams. Because there's no official salary cap in baseball, teams can spend as much money as they want on players as long as they pay the luxury tax. For some teams, the tax may be more of a hindrance than it is for other teams because they have less money. A big market team like the New York Yankees, which is large television market and large fan base, is generally going to be able to generate more money through things like television deals, attendance, and merchandising compared to a team in a smaller market such as the Kansas City Royals. The bigger market team would have more revenue coming in and therefore have more money to spend on player salaries than the team from a smaller market. In a vacuum, then, the team from the bigger market with a larger revenue would have more money to pay the players to give them a better chance to win for longer. Because other factors are at work, however, it's difficult to definitively say the lack of a salary cap is what creates the divide between big and small market teams in baseball. However, it's certainly part of the equation. Without a salary cap, big market teams with a ton of money like the Yankees can shell out truckloads of money on players like Garrett Cole and never truly have to tear a roster down and rebuild like small market teams do. They can simply pony up in free agency every year, try to reload rather than needing a complete rebuild. Small market teams simply don't have that luxury.
I mean, that's just kind of what you have to deal with. As the Royals, I mean, you saw their only success in the past 30 years was building through the draft. That's kind of what you have to do as a small market team. You really can't afford those high expensive players from other markets who want that the big bucks, because they're going to go somewhere where they can actually get that money and try to win a title. For Kansas City, for example, they had to get all their players throughout the draft, and that's kind of how they built their tier. They had a really good scouting department, a really good farm system at the time, built some good players to help them get to back-to-back World Series, and finally won one in 2015. And then after that, you saw all those guys, after winning a World Series, went to places with bigger markets to get more money and to win another championship somewhere else. And that's kind of depleted the team, and now they're back in a rebuilding mode.
This is baseball's reality. Small market teams almost certainly have to spend years rebuilding through the draft to acquire enough talent within the farm system to eventually field a competitive team with a smaller championship window than that of their big market counterparts. When those players need to be paid and the window for contention is slammed shut, something of a roster blow-up occurs and the process begins anew. The lack of a salary cap isn't the only reason this system begins, but it also certainly doesn't help small market teams because there's no set salary cap in place to try and prevent big market teams from simply outspending small market teams for every key free agent. So long as a team is willing to pay the luxury tax, and the big market Yankees did for 15 straight seasons before they finally dipped under the threshold in 2018, only to go back over the next year, it can spend as much as it would like on players. It is worth noting that some believe the owners are choosing to use the luxury tax as an unofficial salary cap as a way to keep player salaries down and lower spending across the league. After all, 5 teams have been over the threshold in the last 2 seasons, the same number of teams taxed in 2017 alone. Despite this, marquee free agents are still getting paid a ton of money. Cole earned his record-breaking deal this offseason. The year before that, Manny Machado set a record of his own when he signed a 10-year, $300 million deal with the San Diego Padres, only to be bested a couple weeks later by Bryce Harper's contract with the Philadelphia Phillies. The system, as it currently stands, allows for players to earn more lucrative contracts for a longer time than players in other leagues. It also is not the only cause of the divide between the big and small market teams within the sport, but it's not actively trying to close the gap either, because teams still have the option to spend as much money as they'd like on player salaries, so long as they are also willing to pay the luxury tax.
I don't love it, especially as a Royals fan, to see all your favorite guys that you built up for years and years go somewhere where they can make more money in a big market, but that's how the sport works.